Today I'm going to be talking about the irrationality of consumer decisions. More specifically, I'm going to be talking about relativity, misconception of supply and demand, emotional-based decision-making, ways a business can take advantage of these irrational consumer decisions and behaviors, and the ethical dilemma behind it. People often see their situation relative to others' conditions. Our brains are programmed to think in this manner. People tend to compare things that are similar to each other. For example, if given the following choices as a graduation trip, Italy with free airfare included, Spain with free airfare included, and Spain without the free airfare, the average person would most likely choose Spain with the free airfare. The reasoning behind this example is that it is less difficult to make a comparison between the two choices for Spain than it is to compare Spain and Italy against each other. The decoy effect plays a big part in the buyer's decision. When consumers have a certain change in preference between two choices, when a third choice is given that is unevenly dominated, it is called the decoy effect. The decoy effect is a hidden underlying factor in many buyer decisions. In the example demonstrated earlier with the graduation trip, Spain without airfare is a decoy. This decoy makes Spain with free airfare seem better than Spain without free airfare. Choosing between Italy and Spain is hard to do, so the easy contrast of both Spain trips makes the person more willing to choose Spain over Italy. Consumers buy items according to value, availability, or quality. A lot of the time, consumers will buy an item based on all three of these variables. The strategy of giving an item a value is vulnerable to irrational pricing. When consumers purchase an item for the first time at a specific price, that price is anchored to them. They associate the original value with the same product over time. An anchor price of an item, take a mountain bike for example, will affect the way someone determines the value of all mountain bikes from then on. From the initial price, other prices seem low or high compared to that anchor price. In simpler terms, buyer decisions about purchases of mountain bikes in the future become comprehensible after the anchor price is set in the buyer's mind. Taking the same idea of anchor pricing, one can test the theory of supply and demand. The root of marketing value, the demand, can be influenced without difficulty. Supply and demand are reliant on each other, just as the manufacturer's retail prices affect a buyer's willingness to pay. The relationship between supply and demand is based on remembrance of the anchor price instead of preferences. It has been proven that emotions impact our decision-making tremendously. High emotions such as hunger, anger, horniness, and frustration have the potential to make consumers behave irrationally. If we are in any of these states, our behavior and decisions are fully controlled by emotions. We are not the people we perceive ourselves to be in that moment of emotion. No matter how much experience we have in a situation, we tend to make irrational decisions whenever we are under any emotional influence. If a company is using the theory of irrational relativity, they can make an advertisement of a person in their target market using their product. The consumer will see the person and compare themselves to him or her and want to have what that person has. Companies can use anchor pricing to their advantage in many ways. One way a marketing team can take advantage of anchor pricing is by putting ads of a new product with a high price on the label. They could then make the actual price lower. Therefore, the buyer will think they are getting a great bargain. They don't have another price to tell them how much the product is worth actually. The initial price given in the advertisement will be the only price to which the consumer can refer. Emotional-based decision-making is an irrational behavior that companies can use to their benefit. For example, if a commercial strikes up sadness and anger about global warming in a viewer, the entrance of an eco-friendly light bulb later in that commercial that the company is trying to sell will look more tempting in that moment to the viewer or consumer. Some claim it is unethical to use consumers' irrational behavior and decisions to market and sell products. It is looked down upon by some to sell to consumers by taking advantage of their innate flaws. However, people that are using consumer rationality claim that consumers are ultimately making the decision to buy the product under their own free will. They do not see it as taking advantage of the consumer, but they think it is merely using their resources to sell as much product as possible. That will conclude my presentation. Thank you.